Hey, everybody, welcome to the post-game show. If you don't like that, here's the bottom line. Without Sabonis, without Murray, without Levine, you're not beating the Lakers. And that's just the reality of the situation. Again, we evaluate the young players. Nobody can be surprised with the outcome of this game. I'm surely not surprised.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Look, the Kings hung in there for the most part for a half. You got a lot of experience for the young guys, especially on the guys they need to be guarding. You saw Max on LeBron at times. You saw Neek on LeBron at times. Those are the matchups where these kids are going to grow when they go back and quote unquote watch the tape.
Yeah, of course, the Lakers are without Austin Reeves, but that's just one guy. And, you know, the Lakers had a real bad outing on Christmas, and this was a real focus for them to kind of get back on track. There was no way the Lakers were going to lose to the Kings in this evening on a Sunday night. It wasn't going to happen. So, you know, listen, you stay down there for a couple of days. You play the Clippers next to wrap up 2025 and move on to the new year. But, you know, again, Max Ryno, I'm with you. He continues to be a real bright spot for the Kings.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And to your point, points in the paint right off the start, when you see LeBron getting down low, you knew they weren't going to mess around. And the good thing, too, is you're looking at different rotations. And I'm good seeing Doug starting to fall into a rotation that involves most of the young guys around it. And we're not seeing, for the second game in a row, any minutes with Westbrook or Schroeder together.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see if that trend continues when they get some bodies back, mainly in the backcourt. Zach LaVine. Jerry, good to have you with us. I was saying to Ryno before he came on, listen, I'm not making excuses because I thought there were some real positives today. You're not going to beat the Lakers without Sabonis, Murray, and Levine. And, you know, again, we saw the development of some of the young players, so I look at that as a positive.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was one of those games coming in that it wasn't in the works for the Kings. Obviously thin. I mean, the Lakers are out a terrific player in Austin Reeves, but the point being is Kings playing back-to-back, Lakers rested. Lakers coming off 3 losses. They're pissed. They got a talking to. Everything pointed to a Laker victory, truthfully. And then the way I looked at it, too, coming in the game, I said, the Lakers have 2 guys significantly better than anybody the Kings have. And if they both have good games, they're going to win. And I think that, about as simply as I can put it, and that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
Jerry, I wrote down a question that I've been dying to ask you since the first half of this game, because it's when it came to me. If you look at where Keegan Murray was at this point in his rookie year on a very good team, and you thought you had something, and you look at where Max Ryno is at right now on a bad team and doing what he's doing, how do you evaluate their progresses midway?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think, you really do have to kind of keep it in focus just individually. I mean, Keegan was on a good team, and it probably in some ways made it easier, but it also made it harder because there's more pressure to win. Ryno, obviously he's not playing with as much talent, so he's maybe the opportunities maybe are a little more for him, and there's also less pressure. All that being said, I think Ryno has proven, to me at least, that he's got a chance to be a really top player. I wouldn't say he hasn't shown enough yet to say he's going to be an all-star, but I mean, this is a 7-footer with skill, and he's not afraid to play. Physically, he gets outmatched some, and that's to be expected. And so, I think he's an equal prospect to Keegan, to be honest with you. They're different positions, but I think it's fair to say at the early stages, you'd have to say he's been as impressive, if not more, than Keegan was as a rookie.
It just goes to show you the development of European players. And really, you can make an argument that at an early age, particularly, they're far and away more advanced than the U.S. player. Maybe not far and away, but they're just better all around, fundamentally prepared, I think, for this process. Now, I'm well aware he went to Stanford, and I understand that, but the development of these European players that we are seeing more and more of, I mean, it's not an accident. There is something to that, Jerry.
Oh, absolutely is. I totally agree with you right down the line. And I think, obviously the Stanford experience was okay. Having said that, he'd go back in the off summers to France, play with the national team and work out with
Yep.
them. And I think the real difference is that, in other words, in America, top players are playing all day and they're just playing games, with no real structure as much. So in Europe, young guys, they're playing games, but it's structured basketball. And
Yep.
then they're not playing as much, but they're practicing a lot more.
Bingo.
In other words, they'll play, 1 or 2 games a week max kind of thing. And then they'll practice so much more. It's like it was in America years ago, to be honest. That's exactly the way it was in America back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. But now it's not. And I think you're seeing the difference.
Think about this, the Euro step. That's taken over the league. The cell in part has come from over there. So fundamentals, you hit the nail on the head, Grant.
So, you look at the 48 minutes played. Again, we talk about the development of the young players, the distribution of minutes. So we saw Max Ryno. All right, so let's talk about Nick Clifford. Ryan, I'll start with you. With 10 being great, 1 being not so good, and we look at the scale from the beginning of the season to now, which was in the single digits until recently, where are we putting him now if we're going to grade him on a 1 to 10? Here we are towards the end of 2025. As we head into the new year, where are we putting him right now?
His willingness to attack guys and attack the rim without fear, and I mean that defensively as well, doesn't care what the name on the back of the jersey is. He's a 10 from that point, but the learning, the between the ears, the hesitation, the being able to make shots, and the timidness at times when he hesitates, I gotta say probably 6.5, Jerry. How about you?
Well, the way I'd kind of see it is, if you're grading rookies, a 10 is LeBron James, a 10 is Michael Jordan, a 10 is Larry Bird, those kind of guys.
Right.
So on that basis, then I'd say, even a Keegan Murray is probably, as a rookie, was a 6. And that's kind of where I'd put Ryno, and I definitely would put Neek no higher than a 5. I mean, even today's rookie class, you put Cooper Flagg maybe as a 9, BJ Edgecombe as a 7. I mean, 8 maybe, and so I'm maybe a little harder grader. But if you're going to have that scale, okay, then that's how you'd start with the greats where they would be.
Well,
So, Jerry,
I would answer it this way. Based on the glimpse that we had in Summer League, and you have to be careful with evaluating Summer League. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought he had a really good camp in the preseason. And so I personally was expecting more of him at this stage of the season, which is now 30 plus games in. I see glimpses of where I think he can be a solid player, but it's going to take longer than I thought it was going to take for him, which, again, I'm okay with that. He's in his first year. I think he can be part of the solution for this Kings future. I think he's part of the building block. I don't know if I see greatness with him, but I see a guy that I think in due time can be a good NBA player. And if he turns out to be a good NBA player, then I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, I've been a little disappointed, but I don't want to make any more of it than that. That the reason I'd say I'm a little disappointed based on his summer league, where he's picked in the draft. They traded up to get him and his age. So, so I think he's a little bit behind where I thought he would be or hoped he would be. But
Agreed.
But it's not much. And so, I think he's got there's no reason to believe he can't be a good player in this league. And as you said, I could see him. I don't know why he couldn't be good enough in 2 or 3 years to be a rotation player on a really good team.
And when you think about your grades, and I was grading him based off of what we saw in summer league, I didn't have the Jordan LeBron grade in my mind. But I do wonder this, because Max has no backlog at his position right now. Neek has a major backlog. So how much does that curve go into your grade when coming up with it?
Well, it should go into it a lot. I can't say that it did. I'm just kind of basing it on the eye test for the most part. And, truthfully, the fact that Ryno was picked 42nd.
Yeah.
And so coming into the summer league or even the season, you didn't expect him to play the way he has been. So that's to his credit, and also the fact that it's been a little bit of a surprise. I at least to me, he's way better than I thought he was. That's what I would say. And Neek is probably slightly behind where I thought he was.
The only reason why I don't think he's above where he is because of the conversation I had with Peja, who watched him play a lot in college. And I had lunch. I was with Peja in early September, and he was raving about Max Ryno and thought that he should start. He goes, if I was coaching a team, he'd be starting day one. I'm like, come on. He goes, no. I'm telling you, he's going to be a really good player in this league, and I would start him right out of the gate. And I'm like, really? And he goes, I'm telling you, you watch. And that stuck with me because I didn't watch Max Ryno play much in college. I wouldn't be able to pick him up out of a lineup. I'm being honest with you. But, Jerry, you know this. You get a different impression of somebody when you see them in person more often, right? And
Right.
Peja saw him in person on a fairly regular basis, both when his son was at Stanford and then after his son left Stanford. And those type of evaluations with somebody that's played the game, that knows the game, really means a lot to me. So I really, I was hoping and expecting Max to be pretty good just based on what Peja thought.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good way to. I mean, the thing that struck me was, with the NBA, it's like, how could a 7-footer with his skill level and really his background in France slip as low as he did? But
He was
then
the
again,
8th center taken in the draft.
yeah,
Think
that's
about
what I
that.
mean. It's like, boy, but then again, then I said, well, Jokic was 41st,
Yep.
so the
Yep.
all-time great. So,
Yep.
and by the way, and you and as well as I remember Jokic's early years, his rookie year, he was not as impressive as Ryno has been. I'm telling you. I mean, there was real questions whether they should have kept Nurkic instead of him at the time.
Very
And
true.
So it wasn't a sure thing. Like I say, some guys. I mean, we've seen superstars emerge over time, come out of nowhere, like
The
Steve
only
Nash.
difference is, correct me if I'm wrong, the age difference, right? Nikola was several years younger when he came into the league, was he not?
I'm not sure. I don't know that he was any. He might have been a year younger, but
Okay.
yeah, I think
Well,
he was
whatever.
just
You're
about a
right.
year.
Jokic was. I agree with you. Max is way ahead of Jokic if you're going to compare rookie seasons.
At
No
the
doubt.
at the same time, because there was a question whether he'd ever be able to run the floor. And
Yeah.
if somebody had said, yeah, that was a discussion, people now would say, well, you're damned idiots. Well, yeah, but you're talking about what you saw at the time, and I mean, and they had questions. Would he ever get in shape? Would he ever be able to run the floor? And of course, like I say, all I know is he was that's what he was then. We watched him play a game where I think he had 2 points and played a lot. And now he's among the probably half dozen best players ever played.
And
No question.
And that is where the draft, I was speaking to somebody that's in another team's front office about a week ago, and he completely agreed with me that the draft is becoming much more subjective than objective, where you're taking the best player. You are now taking the players that you think will fit into your system the best and who you can develop. And the last thing I'll say about Max is Doug's been really open. He's a sponge. You coach him up one time on something, it sticks. You see it the next day in practice, and that means a lot.
That's a positive.
That's a huge thing for a young guy. As Paul,
Jerry, we always appreciate your input, and we'll look forward to doing it again after the Clippers game. Thank you very much.
You can't wait. It's got to be better than tonight. But hey, it was a great Niners win. I have to be honest. I was skipping back and forth and a lot of offense. But yeah, we'll see you after the Clippers game. Take care.
Sounds
guys.
good, Barry. Appreciate it. Yeah, indeed. A lot of football today. And we'll go over it tomorrow, Ryno, beginning at 3:00 on Fox Sports Sacramento. We'll have the complete 49ers recap real quickly because this is a NBA postgame show. I think it's a real bad schedule for the 49ers that they have to play on Saturday night. When you saw the injuries that they've had, Trent Williams without without Kittle today, and they had a concussion in the secondary. You know, that 24 hours could really make a big difference, but it is what it is. They're playing on Saturday night. They're not playing on Sunday. They announced that Baltimore-Pittsburgh would be the flex game, which doesn't surprise me. I thought that would be the case. As soon as Baltimore beat Cleveland today, I said that game's Sunday night. There was no doubt in my mind that was going to be the Sunday game. But we'll talk about it tomorrow, beginning at 3:00 on Fox Sports Sacramento.
We will definitely debate that tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Make sure you go download the Fox Sport KSAC app, available in the Google Play and Apple stores. Gary, thanks for taking the time to call tonight. Gary, you there?
He's there, but he's not talking.
Gary is frozen.
All right.
Looks like Gary is frozen. All good. If you want to call the show, scan the QR code over my shoulder. We'll put the link in the chat as well. Kings lose tonight, 125-101. LeBron Grant still doing it at his age.
He's a marvel. He's one of the greatest players to ever play, whether you have him 1, 2, 3, or whatever. You can't have the conversation of greatest players ever, not have him in the conversation. It is remarkable. It is. It's just, there's really no other way to say it. It's remarkable.
Yeah, and Kings fans, do you think you could take 81 more games of watching Luca just moan and cry and complain? It turns me off.
I can't watch it.
It's going to turn into part of his legacy. I mean, he had a play on the baseline that ultimately was overturned because of an approximate foul, but it was more of a flop than a foul. Max barely touched him in the back. It's just too much for me. It takes away from the best.
As great as he is, I have a real problem watching him play. And I used to talk about it when I was announcing Kings Mavs games early in his career. I was very open about it. I criticized him on the air that somebody needs to pull him aside and tell him this has got to stop. But it's gotten worse. It's getting progressively worse. And it's a turnoff for me. And I think it's a bad look for the league, to be honest with you.
No doubt. It's going to keep him from being one of those quota. I mean, he will be a face with his play. When you think about the best players, he's going to come near the top of the list. But in terms of promoting, you don't want to promote that. That's not the right spots of the game.
Terrible.
In my opinion.
Terrible.
So, looking at all of you again, thanks for being here. Nothing huge tonight. Second game in a row we've seen Doug McDermott grant. That is interesting. I'm sure probably will change as the Kings get closer to getting Zach LaVine back.
Yeah, again, they have 3 starters are out of the lineup right now. And listen, we keep on talking about this. It's actually better if they lose right now than if they win. So, like, I don't even look at who's at the end of the bench getting in and who's not getting in. You know, as long as the rookies are getting their minutes. You know, I was hoping Keon Ellis would have a back-to-back good game.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't expect him to score the way he did in the last game yesterday afternoon. I mean, I don't expect that to be like the Keon Ellis every game. But I was glad that they kept him in the starting lineup.
Yep, completely with you there. Dylan Cardwell, 23 minutes tonight. One thing that I will say he does very well, especially for a two-way guy, is staying vertical. That is going to be important for his time going forward. Russell Westbrook, not so great of a night. As you saw, turnovers, way too many of them for Russ. Ended up with 5 tonight.
He's feast or famine lately, right? He's either really good or he's like, you know, like he's either one extreme or the other. And I get that. You know, he's got a lot of attrition on his body. He's really prepared to play every night, you know, and he always plays to his fullest ability. I gotta respect him for that. I mean, it's not for ever a lack of effort. The guy's out there trying.
Yep, and DeMar DeRozan still looking good. He had a very good second quarter, good first
Yep.
half. Gary, let's give you another try.
Hi guys, thanks for bringing me back. Grant, would you go with Diva Stanza or Boozer?
I'm not ready to make that announcement yet. I need to study the draft more. I appreciate it. I need to see it more. Boozer right now on a lot of draft boards is the guy, but I'd be lying if I sat here and told you I'm a college basketball expert. I know enough about the collegiate players to definitively tell you who you should take number one. What I would say is, I think if you're top 4 in this year's draft, I think you got a chance of getting a real difference maker. I'll just put it to you that way.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of college basketball to lay out. Who was saying, outside of hardcore basketball heads out there, who was talking about Con Knipple at this time last year?
Great point.
You're talking about Cooper Flagg, and he will definitely be one of those guys that's on the all-rookie team
That's very well said. You're spot on. It's early. I mean, we really haven't even started conference play yet. So, like, let's get into the season, and then let's get through January and February. And then obviously, you know, what happens is players separate themselves in the tournament from being ordinary to great. We've seen it over the years. If you want to talk about Carmelo Anthony or Danny Ainge, and again, I'm going back in time, but the reality is tournaments, they mean a lot. And especially guys that make runs into the Final Four and to the championship game, you know, they can really elevate themselves in the draft with a tremendous 6-game performance in March Madness.
Dwayne Wade comes to mind.
Dwayne Wade, perfect.
UConn, what was the guy from UConn that killed us? He had a decent NBA career. Can't think about it at the moment.
Well, just about everybody.
Yeah, no doubt. When will trades happen, Grant? How do you answer that? Because we are in that period now, and it goes until February 5th.
Yeah, well, it's liar's poker. And a lot of times, teams aren't going to make a trade until they get right up to the edge of the cliff. And that's when they make trades. And still, general managers that are assessing their team still are holding out hope that things will get better, or that in the next 4 weeks, they'll get more clarity on what they need or what they don't need and what they're willing to give up. That doesn't mean there won't be a trade or two in January, but the bulk of the trades are going to come right up in the first week of February.
There you go. And that's why guys like DeMar, this was an interesting conversation, and we've kind of scratched the surface of it at times on Fox Sports Radio. But if you're a team that needs a scorer, who's a more appealing option to you right now off the bench, DeMar DeRozan or Malik Monk?
If I need a scorer, DeMar DeRozan, because, I mean, his body of work for his entire career, it doesn't ever drop off year after year after year. It just doesn't. And he's not a guy that relies on just, well, I shouldn't say Malik just relies on his 3-point shot, but the mid-range shot that DeMar has and his ability to get to the free throw line and his ability to back guys down where he loves to go to the elbow and the side of the key jumper. I just think that is such a valuable asset that I think just about any team in the league, or particularly good teams that are looking for that one missing piece, I think he can be a tremendous asset for them.
No doubt. One thing that also never drops off is the quality at Bennett's. Go check them out. Bennett'sRestaurants.com. 3 locations here in the greater Sacramento area. Happy hour every single day of the week, 2 to 6 p.m. Also, awesome weekend brunch. Big shout out to, I believe, one of our winners from Fox sent us a photo. Chris, yes, with a wonderful dinner. So go check them out. They've got all of your fine dining and casual needs, whether it's prime cuts of New York steak, redfish, which Grant loves, steak, Cobb salad, can't beat it, Rockland, Roseville, Howe and Fair Oaks, Bennett'sRestaurants.com for more information.
I love it, and I hope you got there for brunch. And I also want to say happy holidays to everyone in New Works Plumbing. They've been with us from day one. They are fabulous. They've got a fix for you. They are available around the clock 24/7. You go to newworksplumbing.com, newworksplumbing.com. That's Newworks Plumbing. Again, they are phenomenal. Newworksplumbing.com, NEWWRXplumbing.com. And don't forget that 24/7 service. They're always there and available for you. We got Baki calling from Serbia, huh?
We do. Baki, we only got a couple minutes left, but why don't you you have a rave going on there, buddy? What's going on, Baki?
Hey, I just called to say happy holidays and happy new year to everybody, and as well as you. A great job from you, and nothing about the game. The game was okay. Maybe the Kings playing better. A few games, last games, or some parts of the game are maybe puzzle is going maybe positive, but I don't know. Talking about the season and what should we expect, I don't think we're in a position to say anything about it. So we can talk this and that. So, but I will like something to remind you that happened on this day. Maybe now we can say a lot of years ago. So you can hear this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great one. That went viral, didn't it, Grant?
Yeah, it did. That was, we were, believe it or not, trending all over the world on various social media sites after that. Yes.
How about
It
that?
did go viral.
How about that?
Thank you, Baki.
Appreciate you, Baki. Good stuff from Baki. Because I was not Johnny on the spot, like Grant said, make sure you go check out New Works Plumbing. Call them right now. No fix is too big for them. They will get you
newworksplumbing.com. It's all right. You know what? You're controlling you're steering the ship today. It's okay. I mean, we have a lot of graphics and a lot of stuff on there, and it's not always easy to find. We're all good.
We do. So Russell Westbrook, just some news and notes here. Passes Dominique Wilkins for 16th in scoring. He's had a couple of those milestones. Up ahead next, Kings and Clippers on Tuesday. Grant, day off in LA. Sounds like a nice little day off, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's always fun to have a day off in LA. No question about it. And they go to a different venue. It used to be where you could stay in the same hotel. I don't know if they're going to switch hotels and then you just butts over. Generally, when you play the Lakers, you stay right at LA Live, either at the Ritz-Carlton or the JW Marriott. But Inglewood, particularly in the rush hour, it can take quite a long time to get there. So maybe they switch hotels. I don't know, but they will be playing the Clippers next.
Yeah, and Clippers, who actually won a game. Kawhi Leonard dropped 55.
Yeah.
A big night. So we'll see. Clippers have not looked good, though. They have looked very, very different and old. Yes, exactly right. Reminder, Fox Sports Radio, 3 o'clock tomorrow. We've got so much to cover. Much to cover. Can't wait to do that. So make sure you join us for that. Any closing thoughts on tonight's 125-101 loss?
No, I didn't expect the Kings to win. They didn't, but I like what I saw from Max Ryno again. The rotations are better. So listen, if you're looking at the whole big picture and you're looking into the future, we're starting to see, again, the continued development of the young players. And one more game left in 2025, and we turn the calendar. Talk to you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Thanks, Ryno.
Appreciate you, Napes. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.